What's up, YouTube? Long time no see. Right now I'm making a video just so I can get my first thoughts on what I expect to see for the last Naruto the movie. First off, I have to say this movie better, and I mean better, be epic. I want to see awesome action. I want to see scenes with every single one of the Konoha 11. Lee better do something great, just because Rock Lee is amazing. And what else do I want to say? I think there should be some really nice scenes with Naruto and Hinata, which it seems like there is from the trailers. I have to ask everyone here, what do you guys want to see from this movie?
Honestly, I need to see the kiss. I need to see the kiss. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I'm hoping to see some pretty good action scenes. You know, some pretty good fights, hopefully.
I see. What do you who do you want to see fight the most in this movie?
I'd say Naruto. You know, I want to see how he fights when he's grown up, when he's probably matured. You know, he's probably gonna pull a little bit more of those clone jutsus, but I think he's gonna do it in a better way now.
I want to see Naruto casually go in against Tonari too, but I mean, on the side, I want to see Rock Lee go in because I feel like he didn't get enough shine in the series.
Yeah, Rock Lee's definitely one of my favorites.
And you, Dylan?
Just some action.
Just some action?
Yeah.
All right. I want to see how the village actually views Naruto now. I know it's got to be a little bit different than how it was before. You know, I mean, have to say, I still don't understand why this man is not Hokage, but hopefully we find out in the movie. Maybe they give some explanation as to why. I mean, he's Hokage obviously at the end of the manga, but you know, I know from the trailers you see Kakashi being Hokage, so I want some explanation on that. But anyway, I'll see you in a little bit. This is the kind of line I expect for the last.
Oh, excuse me. If you haven't printed off, you can just stay in line. We're not letting you.
Okay, guys, I'm back from, well, not quite back from seeing the movie, but I'm sitting here at Red Robin, you know, with my friends, and I want to get their thoughts on the movie before I actually give you guys the last part of the video, which is going to just be, of course, me giving thoughts. All right, so starting with you, Dylan. After seeing this great romantic movie, what do you think?
I thought it was really good, but more Kurama and more Sasuke. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, Sasuke was just there, but he didn't really do anything besides a few spoilers that I won't mention at this time and place. But one thing I do want to say is hype. All the hype. It's everywhere.
True that, movie. All right, and you, Nico.
I think I'm gonna give you an Oreo shake.
Nico, you're on camera.
Oh, hello there. What am I answering?
My camera's getting ready to time out, so hurry up and say your thoughts.
The Naruto movie, it was hands down worth it. I would have drove hours to seeing it if it was further. We got lucky to have it like 20 minutes away. I kid you not.
People drove 4 hours.
There were people who drove 4 hours to come here, and I nearly cried. I actually did tear up. I'm gonna be real. I did tear up for a moment during the Naruto Hinata kiss. The moment I've been waiting for years. Oh my goodness. It was so good.
Anybody got anything else to say before I cut it off?
I really recommend you watch it. You know, even though I'm not that much of a fan of Naruto, I still say this movie was great. Definitely worth the watch.
All right, well, you guys have heard it now. You guys are going to get yeah, you guys are going to definitely get my thoughts. I'm going to get a whole critique on it, so I'll see you then. Okay, guys, now it's time for you guys to get the full rundown of the last Naruto the movie from me. Now, before I get into that, one thing I have to say is that I'm going to split this up into two different parts. The first part is going to be the review section, which, you know, is going to just basically me trying to give some sort of analysis to the movie. And then right after that, I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, which will have spoilers in it. So I'll let you guys know when I get to my thoughts in case you don't want to hear any like big spoilers or any huge things that happen in the movie. You kind of just want to, you know, sort of get a feel for what to expect from the movie. Before I get to that, I did get a poster from seeing the movie. Well, actually, they were giving out a lot of posters. One of my friends actually took a few. He even took a stack of the flyers right here. You know, I only got 2 of the flyers or whatnot. Well, I guess that's still saying something much, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to figure out where to put that with all my other posters and wall scrolls eventually. You know, as far as in my room, since I definitely have a lot of posters that need to be put up, not just from Naruto, but from Pokemon and various other things. But anyway, oh man, this movie, let me just say, if you've been waiting, let's say you're just an anime-only fan and you want to see some Naruto actually done right as far as animation-wise, this movie definitely does that. But, I mean, through the whole thing, it was just fluid. I mean, every scene to me, the art was drawn right. You know, it wasn't looking like, you know, like you weren't looking at Naruto in one scene and he didn't even freaking look like Naruto, like sometimes the anime does nowadays. Like, Studio Period definitely deserves a round of applause for that. Like, that's the best animation I've ever seen in Naruto, just period. Like, I've never, like, even in the previous movies, I haven't seen that well. Even on them special episodes where we had, like, let's say, for example, the Uchiha Madara episode where we had him fight against the Shinobi Alliance and the meteorites, and that had great animation, but it doesn't even touch or graze this movie, which it shouldn't. It should not, because this is supposed to be a special movie, and not to mention, it's a movie. Like, you better at least bring your A game to a movie. I mean, I liked Road to Ninja, but they didn't bring as much of their A game to Road to Ninja as far as animation as they did with this. So I'm like, somebody actually gave a crap, and that's what I'm so glad about. But yeah, let me give sort of a synopsis of the movie. So basically, the movie revolves around the villain Tonari Otsutsuki. I'm pretty sure at least the last name must ring a bell to you because he's a descendant of the Otsutsuki family. And basically what he decides that he wants to do is bring the end of the world after hearing the will of Hamura and deciding that, and some of you guys aren't familiar with Hamura, you probably should be, or you've at least seen him before. He's the brother of the Sage of the Six Paths. And at the end of the series, which this is actually in the data books in case some of you guys aren't, weren't already familiar with this, but Hamura, back in the days of the Sages, or back when they fought Kaguya, after Kaguya was defeated, he goes to the moon and resides there in order to keep watch to make sure Kaguya has never arrived again. So basically, he started his own little colony on the moon. And then you have Hagoromo, who basically obviously stays on Earth and builds his own thing and spreads his ideals of Ninshu. So the movie revolves around basically, Tonari saying that these are Hamura's ideals, and basically saying that Hagoromo failed to do what was necessary, for humanity. So basically, he's taking upon himself to act out what he says Hamura would want. So that's basically what the whole movie, I guess, revolves around, is Hamura's will being projected on humanity to bring the end to the world of what Hagoromo wanted. So it's pretty cool as far as, you still have that whole yin and yang thing going on in the Naruto world, and that's one of my favorite things about Naruto, period. Now, as far as the pacing throughout the entire movie, I have to say, wonderful. I mean, the beginning of the movie, you get a little a synopsis of everything that has led up into that point. The way that they actually decided what the animation style they chose for that was sort of like I don't know if you would call it calligraphy, but it was more of like, reminded me like more of a Chinese artistic style that they chose for the first little scene in the movie, where you see a synopsis of everything that happened. The storytelling, the way they did that, that was probably one of my favorite things in the movie. After that point, you get a full rundown, or they start laying out the foundation as far as Naruto's role in the movie, where it's going to lead. Now, if some of you guys aren't really familiar with, one of the leading points of the movie that everyone has been talking about, it has to do a lot with romance, intimacy. So, if we all should know at this point who Naruto ultimately gets with by chapter 700, but it basically revolves around Naruto and Hinata. They're like the main characters of this movie. So if you've been waiting to see something like this movie definitely does it through and through as far as developing, giving us some, not too many answers. I feel like there's one thing that they could have answered a little better, but I'll get into that in my thoughts part of the video because again, I don't want to get too many spoilers in this portion of the video for those who kind of want to get an idea of what this movie was about. But the pacing through the foundation of the movie was laid out really nicely. I would say the first, I don't know, probably 30, 40 minutes. I'm trying to remember exactly how long it took before things really started kicking off. Once we got to, or actually, it was 40 minutes. It's probably about 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes, and once the fighting happened, I mean, things got really good. I mean, the fight scenes were carefully placed throughout the movie. It wasn't like you were getting fight after fight after fight. But again, I don't think that's not obviously what they were going for with this movie. And when you did get the fights did not disappoint one bit. So again, pacing was good throughout the movie. There was never a point in the movie where you didn't want to pay attention. Now, one thing I do have to say is Kishimoto is notorious for his flashbacks. So there's even one part of the movie where I'm like, dude, did you literally just give me a flashback twice in a movie? Like, granted, I love Naruto and I don't mind seeing the flashbacks sometimes, as much as some others, but I guess if there was a negative I had to point out, it's that. It's like, come on, Kishimoto, like, you give me a flashback more than once in the movie. I know other people will probably argue with me about that because I sort of talked about that with a few of my friends you saw earlier. But no, I mean, I feel like that part could have been done a little bit differently. Once you see the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, as far as all the intimate moments that I'm talking about, all those were done, really well, actually. There was some sad parts in the movie that you can definitely expect to see. I mean, there was literally some heart-wrenching parts. I mean, I'm not even kidding, where you will literally be like, oh my goodness, the feels. Like, in fact, there was a guy that was sitting right behind me that literally kept saying that, like, man, the feels, like, so many of those, throughout the entire movie. Highs, lows, epic scenes. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a movie. If you've never watched a Naruto movie before, you're gonna want to watch this. As far as the ending of the movie, I feel like, or actually the final fight scene, again, that one doesn't disappoint either. I mean, so much epicness. It will remind you. I'll say this one thing, and this is probably gonna be a tiny spoiler, but not much of one. But if you like DBZ fights, this will kind of remind you a little bit of a DBZ fight, or it'll remind you a little bit of Yusuke fighting against Sensui a little bit. Those type of fights, if you like air dashing and clashing and punches in the air, like something like that, then you'll definitely get some of that in the movie as well. You'll see a lot of growth with some of the different characters. Like, I feel like Hinata's character is actually developed quite nicely to where I'm like, you know what, she's not the same Hinata we've been dealing with in the beginning. Heck, I feel like there was even time that she evolved over this movie, as opposed to how she was, or what the last we saw of her in the manga, where she actually played any relevant role. So she's definitely become a lot more of a strong character, I would say, than she used to be. So I'm actually really happy with that. I like what they've done with some of the abilities. Like if you're a fan of the Byakugan, it's a lot more relevant in this movie because the villain basically has to take, or he takes Hanabi, and he needs Hanabi for something special. So if you've been like, man, Hyuga never relevant, in fact, the beginning of the movie starts off with Hiyashi. So it's like, if you're like, man, Hyuga are never relevant, Hyuga haven't gotten importance in the series, Kishimoto, finally picked up the ball and said, you know what, let me actually give them some sort of important role. The end of the movie, after the climactic fight and everything, and you get the final scenes, you guys will be really pleased with that. I mean, especially all those Naruhina fans, you will be really pleased with the final scene of the movie. Just amazing. As far as my rating goes for the movie, I'm giving this thing Sage of the Six Paths level. I almost want to just say Naruto level because Naruto just seems so ridiculous now in terms of power, but Sage of the Six Paths level. I'm giving it. And as far as my thoughts now, it's time to jump right into this. Spoilers. Let me just get into everything. First off, my dude Sasuke, you got a freaking meteor busting Chidori now? Really? That's really cool, actually, to me. I would have liked to see a lot more from Rock Lee in this movie, though, because there was a scene when you see the meteorite come down on Konoha, and you have Sasuke, or you have basically Kakashi looking like he's literally getting ready to crap his pants, because there's nothing he can do. I still will never understand, and the movie could have explained that. Why is Kakashi Hokage again? Can someone please tell me why Kakashi's Hokage? You could say, oh, he knows how to lead this or lead that, but I'm thinking like, Naruto can take care of himself, and I think Naruto knows how to lead people to a degree. Granted, yes, Naruto becomes Hokage at chapter 700, but to me, that's not doing it for me. At this movie, everything you see was amazing from Naruto. But let me get back to Rock Lee. Rock Lee and Guy, you literally see them standing on top of a building. Now, of course, Guy didn't do anything, but then you see all these other guys around them. Tell me why you literally see them all jump up with green aura. Not Guy, but Rock Lee and all these other guys, and literally kick a meteorite in half. Which made me think, dude, I'm definitely thinking that, he must be able, or Guy must have started some sort of dojo at the very end. And Rock Lee must be like the lead student, because I was like, why else are we seeing other 8 Gates users? And to me, I was thinking, man, people must have saw Guy was putting in work on Madara. They probably said, you know what, I want to be able to do something like that. I want to take on Uchiha Madara. So it has me a little bit excited for the Boruto miniseries, although I was unsure about it before. And that's because I'm like, you know what? We get to, I guess, see some developments like that, like Rock Lee having a dojo or something, leading people, and other people, admiring the whole spirit of hard work. That's really cool to me. That's a fitting end for Rock Lee's character. And the Guy's character too, since he's always been about that. Since people didn't believe in them before, and finally now they have people that are on their side that believe in what they do. So, I like how Kishimoto added that little touch to a story that, they have a dojo. He has other 8 Gate users that they're training. Now, as far as getting back to Sasuke, yeah, when they kick that meteor right apart, you have literally part of the meteor getting ready to land on Konoha. This dude Sasuke rushes up, uses Chidori, completely obliterates that thing. Probably one of the coolest things in the movie. But then he just literally disappears right after that. But he did say a really cool line, though. He's just like, if I'm not, or if he's not here, then I'm the only one who can protect the village, or something like that. And it just made me think, like, again, another reason why Kakashi shouldn't be Hokage, because Kakashi literally had nothing. Nothing he can do. He can't even use Raikiri anymore. He's even said that. If you ever read one of the light novels, and I remember he even said that he needed that to complete it back when we were watching the series. So I'm just like, okay, there would have been a lot of other great choices. Honestly, at this point, people are probably going to get mad at this, but Tsunade actually is a better Hokage in terms of power. Now, in terms of fighting, or in terms of mind, probably not. Now, I have to say, Raikage is literally dropped down in terms of, respect as far as any of the Kages, or any of the 5 Kages, because there's literally a scene in the movie when you have Naruto fighting on the moon with Tonari. Yes, he's fighting on the moon, having a full-blown fight with this villain, because the movie ends up taking a turn where you end up seeing them I forgot how it happened, but somehow they enter some sort of portal that takes them to the moon, basically. And once they're there, because that's where Tonari lives, since he's a descendant of the Otsutsuki, you literally have, a weapon that the Cloud pulls out. And this weapon is capable of, well, first off, destroying a lot of meteorites that are falling onto Earth, or pieces of the moon. And Raikage decides after they destroy all those, hey, we need to destroy the moon. And everybody's like, I don't know if that's a good idea. Like all the Kages were saying that, and then they find out, oh shoot, Naruto's on there, and Raikage's still just like, oh yeah, go ahead and destroy it. I want to get rid of it. I don't care if Naruto's there. And you literally even had Mizukage looking like, really? Like, Naruto is the hero. He saved us in the war. Like, why are we not gonna at least give him a chance or something? And dude's just like, no, we need to go ahead and get it started up. And I'm literally like, man, if I was Naruto, I would have had a lot of things to say once I got back. I mean, seriously. I'm thinking like, really, man, I stopped Madara, I fought Sasuke, I fought Obito, I stopped the Jubi, I stopped Kaguya, I saved you from Infinite Tsukuyomi, and you couldn't literally wait barely even an hour for me to get back, or at least see if I can stop the guy who's literally doing all this. You just decide to blow up the moon. To me, it was so rash, but it's kind of surprising. And then another thing, too, is if the Cloud literally had a weapon like this, I don't know if they had it all this time or not. That's what I can't recall. But if they had it all this time, I'm thinking like, dude, somebody could have pulled this out on the Jubi. Like, somebody should have been like, you know what? We're facing something that literally can destroy... Alright, sorry about that. My camera cut out on me. But let me think twice before actually deciding to destroy the guy who saved us. Like, I'm like, dang, dude. Like, really? But, yeah, I don't know if I really trust the Cloud after that too much. I'd be like, like, you guys are going to probably be the end of us. Like, I mean, yeah, we're all cool now. We're all buddy-buddy. But I'm like, you just harboring that weapon like that. I mean, granted, everybody else could be like, okay, you got Naruto and you got Sasuke on your side. But, which are freaking crazy weapons by themselves, in a sense. I mean, granted, Naruto's not. He's a human being, but... I mean, you might as well almost say he's like a weapon, because when that dude goes out and fights, I mean, that dude can freaking basically stop anything in that world. If you've been wondering how much stronger Naruto's gotten, woo-wee, man. Like, in the beginning of the movie, when you see him fight against Tonari, when he first shows up, you have Hinata sitting on a swing and she's crying because she's been trying to knit Naruto this scarf basically through the entire film. And that scarf obviously is symbolic of the relationship that is supposed to, I guess you could say, like, how much she cares for Naruto and how she really wants to give him this, because in a sense, this scarf is how they ended up meeting. In the beginning, you see, a couple of the kids come up to Naruto, or come up to Hinata, and they're calling her a Byakugan freak, saying that she's crazy because she has white eyes or whatnot. And they're making her cry, and Naruto gets up and tries to defend her. But when they... when Naruto does that, these kids basically start, beating up Naruto, and they even take this scarf basically from Naruto and toss it around, I guess, tore up or whatnot. And then, after that, that's basically how you had the initial contact between Naruto and Hinata. Because I forgot what Naruto said to Hinata or whatnot, but, they were little kids at the time. So she ended up keeping that scarf, and she wanted to fix it and give it back to him, basically, in order to talk with him, I guess you could say, because she's been basically trying to build up the courage all this time to be able to say something to Naruto, to tell her, or to tell him how she feels. And, Sakura even know this, which I have to say, like, Sakura is just such a sad character now, because Sakura tries to encourage her throughout this entire movie, to finally go ahead and, say something to Naruto and, confess their feelings. And, Hinata's kind of wondering, why is that? But, you can tell, and Sakura says something where you basically get a flash of Sasuke, and it's basically because Sasuke's not around, so she wants to try to help someone else so that person doesn't feel exactly the way that she feels, not being able to be with the one that she loves. But to me, Sakura's just crazy. I never understand why she's, with Sasuke. And to me, I'm still like, man, if Kishimoto wanted to, he could still make that relationship technically not really a relationship. Because I still be like, man, that baby, Sarada, man, that does not look like her. It looks like freaking Sasuke and Karin made a kid. I can literally see it now. Sasuke dropped that kid off, said, Sakura, take care of it. Okay, Sasuke-kun. And bam, that was it. Because Sasuke had things he wanted to do. I mean, I really could see that. I'm not saying that's exactly what happened. But, because it's probably, like 90% sure it's not happening. But if Kishimoto wanted to take that route and make him Sasuke sort of like a Jing, and, kind of make Sakura play that anti-role, kind of like with Gon and all that, then I think he could. And it would make perfect sense. But, anyway, to move on to the whole Hinata part, yeah. that scarf is really symbolic throughout the entire movie with her trying to knit it. I mean, even Hanabi making jokes like, when are you finally going to go ahead and say something to Naruto? So she gets ready to say something, and when she sees Naruto's wearing another scarf in the movie, that's when she gets really upset and sad, because she's basically like, oh, well, you're already, with someone, it doesn't even, basically it doesn't even matter, because Naruto's like, yeah, this scarf is really precious to me. And right after that, you see her go to the swing set. She's crying because she feels like she'll never be able to say anything to Naruto. And that's when you have Tonari show up. Naruto happens to chase after her because he knows that she's really upset, doesn't know why exactly. And that's when you have Tonari basically try to take Hinata, and Naruto ends up getting into a fight, or actually does take Hinata. And he starts getting into a fight with Tonari. Taijutsu for Naruto was amazing. I knew Naruto's Taijutsu improved greatly over the course of the series, despite what some may say. But I mean, if you had any doubts, this dude was literally just punching people like, I was like, man, dude took some lessons with Rock Lee that week or something, because he was doing spins, just like without clones at one point, just knock, like literally a crowd of them getting around him, just knocking them around like they were nothing, throwing them around, a bunch of these different puppets and whatnot, destroying each one. And when he did use clones, it was just like a massacre on all of them. And even at some points, when you have these puppets firing these energy spears at Naruto's just dodging them, avoiding all of them, taking them, using the Rasengan, countering them. And I'm just like, throughout the entire movie, there's this one scene where you literally see him get attacked by a bunch of those energy spears. Dude jumps up out of the smoke, throws a Rasen Shuriken, curves it. Thing literally cuts like a whole row of puppets on, in like a 360 kind of spin. I was like, that is amazing. I'm like, Naruto, you went in. Like, I mean, I feel like Naruto's base is freaking crazy now. Like, I mean, I feel like he could take out some freaking uber hack shinobi in base mode now the way he is. So I'm definitely going to have to do a crossover battle with someone who's on the same skill level as Naruto. And yes, I'm about to fire some shots with this one. Luffy cannot take on Naruto the way he is now, but granted, Luffy still got a way to go. We'll see what happens with One Piece. Just to all my crossover fans out there. But anyway, to move on. After we get a little fight scene with that, Naruto does manage to save Hinata in that particular scene. So the movie moves on, and you end up getting them. Like Kakashi basically puts 2 and 2 together and figures out, I'm pretty sure that whatever's going on right now has to do with, Tonari. Like, I just have a hunch that this is that, the moon falling and then this guy appearing in the village trying to kidnap somebody, this definitely has to do with that. So after that, you actually have Sai say, I saw Hanabi be taken, just last night, basically. So they all head out on a mission to go find Hanabi. Once they find Hinabi, or once they actually go, I forgot exactly how they got to this place, so forgive me for this, because, my recollection as far as the transition from that scene to how they got to the moon is a little fuzzy, but they basically ended up crossing over to this dimension. That's when they got initially crossed over to it, they got caught in like this kind of mystical, I guess, chakra thing, where it basically puts them to sleep in a genjutsu, and that's basically how Naruto ended up realizing Hinata feels for him, because he basically... Well, he actually was able to, I guess you'd say, see exactly into her head. Like, he was able to see and feel everything and remember everything that's happened between them. All the important moments, from the Chunin exams when she gave him that ointment to, the fight with Pain. Which I have to say, Naruto, how did you not remember Pain? Like, how are you just now remembering? If I was Hinata, I'd have been like, really? Are you serious? I mean, come on. Like, she should have just been like, you know what, forget it. I don't want to talk to you. But basically, he ends up remembering after going through some kind of Izanami, Pain Chunin exams thing, where he's seen that over and over and over again. And then he's just like, oh crap, like, she actually loves me. Like, I should do something about this. So anyway, it gets a little awkward between them at the moment right after that scene. And then you have Tonari shows up. Literally immediately, dudes ask Hinata. Well, that's actually after, like, Naruto and them went somewhere else. Like, they were in the same vicinity, but basically he asked Hinata in the movie to marry her. And Hinata's basically, of course, she doesn't want to do that. She loves Naruto or whatnot. But you know, you have Naruto appear, he starts fighting against this Tonari guy. They have a little quick taijutsu fight. A lot of taijutsu in this movie, so you'll probably like that. And right after that particular scene, I know there was a part of the movie where they ended up literally trying to figure out where they were at. Yes, I think right after that scene, you have Shikamaru and the gang trying to figure out where they're at, and you know they go on a search. They're still trying to look for Hanabi, and then they find out, hey, the enemy's not anywhere. Where are they? So right after that particular part, that's when you basically get a lot of downtime. So there was some downtime moments. You know, you have Naruto and Hinata kind of, you know, having their interaction, a lot of characterization right there. Won't really dive into those too deep right now, you know, or actually at all. You guys can probably watch those for yourself. But definitely the scene where Naruto and Hinata, you know, unveil their feelings to each other was definitely really good. I like Tonari though, because Tonari, when he came to get Hinata that next time where he actually did get her, that scene was so freaking emotional you would tear up. I don't even want to really repeat it all because I want you guys to watch that for yourself. You know, that scene right there, I really wanted to shed a tear. You know, in fact, you know, I'm pretty sure there were some folks in that theater that did shed some tears from that scene. Like, you know, like, let me just put it this way. It gets so emotional the scarf starts burning, you know, completely away. Like, you could literally feel a hole in your heart from watching that scene. But once let me kind of skip ahead a little bit to a lot of the to the last. I'm gonna skip to the last part of the movie, kind of wrap this video up. So basically, when we get to the fight scene, after we find out about the Tenseigan, which is basically supposed to be, I'm gonna say like a Mangekyo Byakugan, like the next level of Byakugan, which is with whenever an Otsutsuki has the Byakugan, basically they can unlock the Tenseigan through some sort of ceremonial ritual or something. I forgot how it exactly goes. But basically, he ends up getting to taste Tenseigan, which is uber powerful. And Hinata tries to figure out how to stop the Tenseigan. So Naruto and Hinata, they try to bring it into that, but it doesn't quite do it, obviously, because we gotta have our big old fight scene. So Tonari and Naruto eventually end up getting into a fight. Tonari enters his Tenseigan, like, chakra mode type thing, where he starts glowing green completely. Dude is hacks out of I don't know what. I mean, I don't want to say he's stronger than Madara. I don't even know, but he's up there on that kind of scale. I would probably say maybe a little bit weaker than Madara, to me at least. But dude literally, when he started fighting Naruto, and they literally went onto the surface of the moon, which there was a plot hole in the movie. Yes, there was. And I have to say it, because I don't want anybody else saying, why didn't you name this plot hole? I don't understand why they were able to breathe in space. I just want to say that. Hinata, Naruto, all of them were able to breathe in space, so I just want to get that out of the way now. But when they start fighting on the surface of the moon, and you have literally Naruto and Tonari going at it, dude, it looked like DBZ. Like, me and, you know, my friend Nico literally were yelling in the theater, DBZ, because you had them clashing, going back and forth, lights just appearing everywhere, going zip, 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 you know, all that. And, you know, Naruto throwing a punch, Tonari throwing a punch. They even brought back the classic theme in Naruto for that, where you have the, you know, do 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 do. You guys know what I'm talking about. And had him doing all his moves and whatnot. And it kind of, there was a couple instances where it reminded me of the fight with Neji from what Naruto was doing. You know, so a lot of combinations. Tonari was so freaking hacked. Dude split the moon in two. Completely in two. Like, seriously, that right there was probably one of the best things, you know, I have to say in the movie for me. I like to see a lot of DC and stuff, so when I saw him split the moon, I was like, okay. But Naruto actually tanked it. That was the crazy thing about it. He tanked a moon-busting hit. And then went back for more, and then Tonari even used that same move again. Dude has such great control over his chakra mode now. Or I should say his Biju mode, because he didn't even use 6 paths mode, or 6 path stage mode. Which lets me know, like, dude is too freaking hacks now that he didn't need it in the movie. He didn't even call in the help of the Undertale Beast. He didn't need it. Kurama had his own little separate fight in the movie, by the way. But, you know, Naruto literally condensed all power is Biju, Sage Mode, and literally just stopped his moon busting technique the second time he used it. Stopped, like basically dissipated it, concentrated all the chakra again in this fist on some Sakura type stuff, and literally punched the dude, knocking him out. That was the epic finish right there. Well, actually, there was a little bit more after that, but I'll let that be. As far as the ending of the movie, the credits scene, oh man, that scene right there, you see Naruto's wedding basically in that scene, and you'll love a lot of that stuff right there. And as far as the last closing scene, I think I'll let you guys have that one to yourself. You know, that was really touching. I just can't wait to see the Naruto movie and the next series coming after it. It'll be it for Naruto. This technically is it for Naruto. I'm counting this the end of Naruto's story. So I don't ever actually expect to see much of Naruto after this. I mean, even if they're doing a Naruto series, hopefully the focus is actually on Naruto, since this is supposed to be about him. It's not just an excuse for Kishimoto to write more about Naruto. I mean, I want to see Naruto sometimes, but you know, you gotta focus on other characters too. Talk about making another story. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to that. You guys already know my rating. Hopefully a lot of you guys get a chance to see it. I recommend it. The last Naruto movie gets a great rating from me. By the way, for any of you guys who are interested in my manga, it took forever for me to get chapter 2 out. There's a lot of issues that came up, but chapter 2 is out on shiningotaku.com for those who are interested. I will put a link down below. And I don't want to make any promises because I never keep on or I don't keep any promises. But you might see something in the future on my channel pretty soon. In fact, crossing battles, I said I'm going to do those. But I have to think of some good matchups. And yeah. Thank you guys for sticking with my channel. And you will see from me soon. So I'll see you guys later.